Hey guys, this is actually going to be a tutorial on armature with mixed in with the spray brush tool, and this is actually going to be my first tutorial. So hopefully this video finds useful to you, and hopefully everything works out well. Let's open up Flash, and it's going to be I'm actually on 5.5. But you could be on 5 or 6 or any other ones. But I'm not too sure if you go further back than 4 or 3, it'll do you any use. But this is going to be on 5.5, so just open up a ActionScript 3.0, and as you can see, when you use the spray brush tool right now, right over here, it says B, or you just go up here to your toolbar and spray, and you'll get these dots. And of course, over here you could do random scaling. Right now it's random scaling, so it's randomizing my dots that I'm producing out. And you can also adjust the scale over here. And there's a default shape. And if you turn on or off this random scaling, it'll be more consistent when you're spraying through. You can also scaled it up right over here, and it'll be a lot bigger. You can't really tell for some reason. Yeah, yeah, there you go. There you go. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. As you can see, each of them is their own symbol. So you actually go in here and adjust your own symbol. But let's talk about that later. So I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna actually do a grass. It's a stem of grass. So I'm gonna go in here, max out, and turn this on. And it's up to you. You don't have to turn it on. Since I'm not using a tablet, I'm not sure if it'll do you any use, but my smoothing is 100%. That's up to you. So I'll draw my grass here. And then what you want to do next is going to go to your bone tool right over here, and make sure you have the bone tool selected, not the bind tool, but the bone tool. And you're going to create your armature. So you're going to click and drag. So like the bone tool, if you ever used it before in a different program, click and drag again on the same spot. You click and drag, and then you click and drag, and then you stop. So as you can see over here, my layer 1 is now invisible, and we created this armature 2 over here, or armature 1 if you haven't created one at first yet. It'll create an armature, and it'll leave this one empty. So let's go ahead and delete that, and let's rename this grass. So after you rename this, you can actually turn this into a symbol if you want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in here and press F8, or you can go modify and convert symbol, and convert it to a graphic symbol. And I'll just name this grass. There you go. You'll see it over here. Oh, and also I'm actually in the animation workspace. So most of the time you'll see when you open up, it'll be classic. But since we're animating, I usually use animator workspace, but you don't have to. It's totally up to you. I'm more comfortable with this. You work with whatever you're comfortable with. So let's go inside the symbol and start animating this grass stem. So double click, and let's see. You want this to animate, so as right now you're going to see it's only on frame 1. Let's go to frame 60. Either press F5 or right over here, insert. No, not insert. Sorry. Actually, let's go by shortcuts. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. So you just go over here, and you either right click right over here and paste frame, or you can click 60 and hit F5, and there you go. There's your frame. But as you can see, you don't have any animation when you're scrubbing through. So you see this green bar over here? That represents that you're using an armature layer. So you can go, you can either go anywhere down down your timeline and make this and put your animation in here. However, if you want to make it longer to like 100 or 1,000, you can do whatever you want. But just for time sakes, I'm just gonna do 60. So I'm gonna animate this by tens. You don't have to do that. You can make it more fluid, separating them apart or whatnot. So I'm just gonna animate by 10. So I'm gonna go up to frame 10, and I'm gonna move these. I'm gonna move my selection tool right here. I'm gonna move my bone. You can see it's moving, but it's moving really weird or not sort of out of control. So what you can do to have more control, you can actually click on this bone and you can constrain it over here. So if you hit constrain or joint constrain, I'm going to joint rotation. Since as you can see, it rotates 360. If you're actually creating a character, you wouldn't want that, so you constrain it. And then as you can see over here, I'm going to zoom up. As you can see over here, it's constrained to 40, -40 to maximum. So here's your maximum. You can see I can only rotate it this much. So if you want to have more control, you can turn on the constrain, and it'll constrain your armature for you, your bone tool armature. And it'll make it easier for you. But however, there's another way to do it, but it's a bit more time consuming. What you can do is hold down shift and click, and it'll only move that single joint by itself, the single bone. So I'm gonna start animating this. So you click shift and you can animate this part by itself. I'm gonna make it so like a windy grass, so like the wind is blowing through it. So I'm gonna move these by itself. I'm gonna frame 20. I'm gonna move this here a little more this way, like that, and then frame 30. I'm gonna move it back the other way. So as you can see now, when you scrub through it, you can see the animation going. So you can also adjust where you want to put these. It's sort of with these little diamonds over there, shows that you are actually animating. So to make this loop, I actually want my last frame to be the same as my first frame, as if you're animating the walk cycle, so it'll continue looping. It won't pop back into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to frame 1. I'm going to hold Alt and click, and you see a little plus sign next to your cursor, your mouse over there. You're going to drag it and place it wherever you want. As right now, I'm going to put in 60. And there you go. My first frame and my last frame are the same thing. Now I'm going to go back out to scene 1, which is my main timeline. But as you can see, there's no animation. It's because your master timeline or your main timeline on the outside has to be consistent with your animation timeline inside. So I'm going to put 60 frames. As you can see, right now it'll start animating. See this animation? Okay, and it also has a symbol out here as well. So let's say if you weren't going to do a spray brush tool effect, you can just grab and drop, and drag and drop, and it'll animate exactly the same thing. But let's say if you want to make like a patch of grass, you don't want to keep drag and dropping these into your stage, and then go inside here and then reduce the size. It'll just be a big headache. So I'm gonna go back, and I'm actually gonna delete this. So what's so useful about the spray brush tool is that you can actually right now spraying dots. I don't want this. You can actually go inside here and use the spray brush tool right over here, and you see this right here. It says spray no symbol, you can edit, and you can pick the symbol that you created, which is the grass, and you can actually swap it out. As you can see, right now, my grass, when I'm spraying my grass, is spraying the grass out. However, it's too big. But like I mentioned at first, you can actually adjust it. So I'm going to adjust the scaling. So when when you're spraying it out, it's random. And I'm going to adjust the height and the width. So I'm going to make the width maybe around 32, and just lower this down to around 40. Let's say 40, yeah. So when you're spraying it right now, you'll spray your armature that you created at first. So you can also lower this and spray a little more so it looks 3D space. So as you can see, it's spraying what you need. And then when you scrub through it, the grass will also move. So if you have like a wind effect, it will be pretty cool. So let's test this, try the scene and test it out. Holding Shift Enter, or if you're on a Mac, excuse me, Command Enter will render your scene. So as you can see, it's rendering my grass as how I rendered it in my armature. And that's basically how you do it. Animation. You don't have to animate it. You can actually, like, let's say if you want to put like scattered stars in the background, you can. So it will be pretty neat, a pretty cool trick. Instead of drawing each individual stars, you can actually spray it out, and it'll spray as a symbol. So if you think about it, if I were to control this, I can move this symbol over here, move this over here. You can move this. Oh, this is all one spray, so moving the text. Then you can add another layer, and put this on the bottom. This grass a little darker. Then this rectangle tool. But let's make this background. This is the hill. Call this hill. And just going on right here, I just want to do a simple layout. So I'm gonna do some coloring. Don't want it to look too plain or flat. I'm just going on here. I'm doing this kind of nitpicky stuff. Just like my scene to look complete. So we are using the gradient tool. As of right now, I want my gradient to be the other way, so I'm going to hold Shift as a gradient tool, and I'm going to, wrong way, going to adjust my gradient over here. Let's see, I think that looks good. So, I'm call this background, BG, and when you render it, looks like you're on a hill, and then you put simple animation in the back, or change the color of the grass, so if you were to go inside the symbol and change the color of the grass, all of them would be changed. So if you want, you can actually create multiple grasses, so you have different color variations instead of one solid one. That's, if you want. But yeah, that's it. That's all. That's my tutorial for today about armature and the spray brush tool. And we'll be posting more videos up. So if you like these videos, hit subscribe, and you can like me or whatever. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching my video, and have a great day.